All right, good morning, traders. Welcome to the Bookmap All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We're going to be going through the live order flow analysis, reading the hard right edge, and trying to understand where price might go next based off of understanding the auction process. That's what this webinar is all about. You can do that using order flow. It is not hindsight. So the better that we can understand the auction, the more objective we can understand that auction, the easier it is to understand where price might go. All right. So general disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so let's jump in here. How we left off yesterday. Bigger picture. All right, so over in YouTube, you guys, well, I don't know if you were here yesterday, but we're going to jump over to our Discord and talk about it because let's see who's in here today. Rob, Steven, I don't know if Alan, you're in here too. Excellent. Okay. Here's why. Also, who else? Caesar. I don't know if you're in here. No, I don't see you. Anyway, we were discussing an outside day and what that means. This is one of the, I feel like such an easy and powerful strategy, and it will help clarify things. So, for example, let's look at our candlestick chart. Okay, we're going to look at our higher time frame candlestick chart. We're going to look at the ES here. Here's yesterday here, this candle on the daily over here, and then here is today. Okay. Here's the hourly, here's the 15-minute. Okay, there's some really interesting things in here, and this happens all the time. And this is what we want to, this is a bigger picture strategy. It's a very, very simple idea. We're going to, hold on a minute here. Let me get to the right chat room here. Okay. So, good morning, everybody. Yeah, so anyway, just getting caught up on the chat there. A very, very simple strategy, a thing to look into. Okay, so yeah, we're going to go over the winners for the crypto, the March Madness crypto competition. We're going to we'll announce them a bit later today after the webinar. Stephen, the demo trader, was third. Let's see here. We can just quickly go through it here. Hold on. Okay, so I know a bit of an interruption, guys. We'll get to this simple strategy in just a second here. Okay, here it is. The winners, Global Plus for first prize, you get Global Plus subscription for 1 year plus 500 USDT. Second prize is 6 months and then 3 months, all Global Plus. And then here are the winners. So Dark Trader pulled out the victory with realized profit 19,000. Tomnado is next, 14,867, and then Stephen came in third here. Stephen, one of the great things about your performance in here is your volume. You know, this really is, there should be, yeah, I see you say that now too. No, this should be there. I considered this as an award this time, but it was just like, well, it was a little too complex. We'll go over it maybe next time. We'll have other competitions in the future. The amount of volume that you trade and then your realized profit and loss in here is fantastic. Okay, we're talking about a ratio here, This is excellent. Look at all of these others in here. Like there's only a few that traded less, and boy, and not much less, right? Like for example, this guy down here, Dario. This is another thing that we're going to dissuade in the next competition, or at least I would like to. He just went all in short from the very beginning, and that was that. Okay. I want to change the rules for the next one, or have the rules be, it has to be just like on your taxes. It has to be consistent and frequent trading. Okay. So that means every day, and it means every day a certain amount. Right. It's just not all in one day, all out, no, it has to be, we have to see like 3-4 trades spread out over time. Okay, we're not gaming the system here. Anyway, that's a great job, Stephen. It's impressive. It's really impressive. Okay, the least amount volume with the highest return. Okay. So really good stuff there. Anyway, guys, let's get back into the strategy, because this is so simple and basic and fundamental to the markets. It's an outside day. Now, I'm not a big fan, as you guys know, about candles. Periodic data that's aggregated within maybe a condition of time or volume or whatever it is. It's just a period of data. Now, a daily makes sense to me personally, because it is for the day. There's different traders. They are engaged for the day. And then the next day is a different day. Okay, that doesn't happen on the 5-minute chart. It doesn't happen on the 15 or the hour chart. Okay, why divide up the day into time periods like that? It doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, there is a distinction here that we do see between the hourly, 15-minute, and the daily. The daily here starts from the session open and close. So there's just 1 hour here of difference. My time, East Coast time, between 5 and 6. This period ended here yesterday at 5 p.m. my time, East Coast time, and then opened at 6. And look at the move. Okay, now this is anticipated here, in fact. Okay, I'll talk more about this in a minute here, why you can anticipate this move. But look what you get here on the hourly. The vast majority of that move took place overnight. It gapped down here and then went down. Okay, and where did it go? It went down into where all of this buying began back on March 18th or so. Okay, so how much more room does this have to run? Not too much. I mean, the momentum is still down, but like, look at the length of this candle. Okay, the price range. Look at others in here. Okay, now the pretty strong move up, so maybe we can get a bigger candle like this, but this move might be rather done for today, and maybe we just hack around in here the rest of the day at this price level. Now, I'll probably go down a little bit more, but I would imagine I do not foresee a move all the way down into 51.83 or so down here. Okay, it might happen, but we haven't even looked at the order flow yet. But I'm not anticipating that. This looks like a pretty good little area for me on the daily, on the hourly, and then on the 15-minute as well. Okay, so this is our gap here. Now, guys, this here, what does this look like on the 15-minute chart over here to you guys? It's a variation of one of the strategies that we cover. Yep, that's it, Rob. It's a flag. Okay, here's our consolidation. Here's our move down. Here's our pullback. And here's our continuation. Now, continuation is an interesting one here because of the gap. Okay, the flag pattern is there, though. This is, you really don't even have a measured move in here The measured move for the first impulse would be this one, and then it probably ends down somewhere in here if we took this move here and then moved it and aligned it over here. Okay, so it would probably come down into these swings in here, and that would be your measured move. Okay, well, because of the gap in here, we can see that this is quite a bit bigger here, right? Let's see, 3 contracts at 32. What are you talking about? Slow down. I don't know exactly what you're talking about here. 3,000 contracts, yeah. 3K contracts. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on at the moment. Yeah. Do you think that's sizable? Exactly. This is where Bookmap can be really insightful, right? Anyway, guys, I want to cover this here because Rob had some questions about it. Caesar answered them, but this is what's important here, and it's such an easy strategy to play. Wait for an outside day, and you go with the momentum, and that's it. You control your risk, of course, and you read the order flow, of course, but you can scale in and out of this all day long, and really do well. All right. So in fact, I would probably argue if you just trade this and wait for this, then this is the only time that you trade. You're probably going to do pretty well. Okay. Now, I kind of hate to say stuff like that, but it's just such an easy strategy to follow, and it makes sense that here's a lot of volume, a lot of transactions up in here, and this is an exploration outside of that range to where price needs to find value, and right now it's exploring that, and it's probably finding something right in here on this hourly, but anyway, probably still go a little bit lower and then maybe snap back. But anyway, this if you understand, Alan, this is what this outside day means in this concept. It means that all of these people up here that were long are probably covering here. All right, so this is your long squeeze to the downside, and it's also a lot of traders in here. Okay, so yeah, I would look at ATR and align that with some of your order flow analysis for your measured moves. Okay, now again, this is more of anomaly, or it's a bigger move. So you might want to look at like some of the other bigger moves in here. How much more can it move, and what is driving this in here, right? This is what is important to kind of understand, because once you start to understand that, well, then maybe you're looking for, like, if there's a lot of fear in the market, you're looking for it to come down to here. Why not? Like this move here. It's already happened. Here's another pretty big move. Here's another a few days big move. But you can take that information and overlay it here as well, right? Anyway, I'm really flogging a dead horse here. I think this is pretty simple and straightforward about an outside day. The criteria, Alan: price moving outside of a previous candle, daily candle. That's it. Okay, so any of these days in here, are they outside days? Not one of them here. All these red candles, all these green candles here up to here. So from here over to here, they're all basically inside the ranges in here. Okay, actually this one is outside, I think. Can't tell if there's a little wick there. No, if there's a little wick there, then this one is Yeah, I can't tell. But anyway, you get the idea. Now, this candle here is certainly an outside day. Okay. Now, look what happened, though, at the end of the day here. That's as far as it went. And then the next 3 days were pullbacks. Okay. So we'll be looking for that, too, in here as a pullback. Right. But this moved outside of this candle here. Okay. All of this previous day's action, we are well away from it. That is considered an outside day. Look, you should look this up, Alan. I think what's his name? Oh God, I forget. Crable, is it? He wrote a book on this as well, and it was going for something like $2,000 on eBay, and it's really simple thing to understand. And the it's ridiculous that it went for that much. But Alan, look up outside day, Google it, you'll find tons of stuff. Okay, you'll find tons of stuff, and just ask in here in the All Markets webinar here, or chat room, as well as in the Bookmap Academy. You'll get all sorts of information. And again, it's probably going to be really repetitive because it's so simple. Now, this is what I want to cover, though, about well, we'll talk about the strategy and how to play it in here today. But what I want to cover is the concept again about an outside day. It is very similar in concept to a consolidation and a breakout. It is exactly the same thing. It's just a day of consolidation or a day of price action. And then a breakout and acceptance away from that previous day price action. Okay, so for example, well, what do we see in here? Okay, there's a few little consolidations. It's not a good example because it's trending so hard, but we can see a consolidation here, right? Well, there's many to take a look at, but a simple one is right here, all of this price action. Well, here's a breakout. That breakout failed. Okay, here it comes back into the range, and then now it has broken out of this price action here. Okay, now look how it's broken out. What is it telling you in here? This is what we want to read and understand, because look at the breakout here, and we see a lot of buyers down here. So is this going to accept lower? No, I'm looking actually for a move back into the range into here. Okay, because look at all the buyers here. Okay, this would move back into what? High volume node, point of control right here. Okay, looking for a test to that. Okay, because look how it broke outside of the range. Okay, so this would be a failed breakout. This would be a failed breakdown. All right, the concept is the same. So here, let's go through it. We'll call it another consolidation here. Just you guys get the point, I think. Now this breakout here, it is the exact same thing as an outside day in concept. Okay, consolidation back and forth in here, and then the move outside of it on volume. It is accepting, it is exploring lower. We've gone over these concepts for a long time. It is important to understand, though, this concept, okay, because this is what markets do. They consolidate and then they break out or break down, and they explore areas for newer areas of value, and then it will accept again. Okay, so one of the we've talked about Wyckoff in here, and Slowdown has implemented the Wyckoff spring many a time over. It's a little variation on it, but it is very simple. There's accumulation or distribution in your consolidation, and then there is a markup period. If it's accumulation, then there is a markup period. And that's where you get these moves outside of ranges, just like an outside day, okay? Or just like an outside move of this consolidation here to the downside right here. Okay, same thing. And that's your mark down. Or, when it reaches a certain area and starts to consolidate, then we're looking for a mark up period. All right, so that's it. As simple as that. Anyway, guys, we were just looking for the move back to here. It's already done it. Okay, it's coming back to the other side of the ranges in here now too. Okay, so our consolidation range here, it's already come to it and is testing it. Can it come up to here? Let's just kind of mark this up. Okay, right around there. Can it come up to there? Is there enough buying pressure to move price up into that area? I don't know. I don't see it. I see some buy volume, but look how it just totally tapered off up here. Okay, so now we don't know. There all of a sudden there might be more buyers who come in here, and then we'll move price back up, and this would turn into another kind of flag pattern in here. However, I'm not looking for it. I see there's high liquidity up here. I do not see a lot of buy volume. I am actually looking for a push back down to this area here, or maybe point of control. It looks like point of control is already changed. Or I'm sorry, it looks like I was in front of point of control. So yeah, it's back to the most traded level right now. Okay, I'd like to see it come down a little bit lower here, maybe around, it's not much, just a couple of points. But anyway, that's the concept. I don't know. It's not even worth looking up that book. Crable is his name, and I believe this might be it, Alan, right here. Day trading with short-term price patterns and opening range breakouts. I can't recall, but this one is used and it's 620 bucks. Okay, so anyway, you don't need to look this up. It's you just need to understand the concept and then start looking into it and how you want to take advantage of it. Okay. Now it is also a momentum move. And this is important as well because these again are really simple moves that we want to take advantage of, right? So now, are we still looking for that move? Okay, well, not really. I mean, we don't really know now. I mean, we've gotten the move down from 930 here, and the low has been down to about this 52.35. But look at the volume now. Right, this move is rather done. Okay, it's ATR, is how much pressure, selling pressure there is in the market before we need to kind of take a break here, and we've kind of reached it, right? So we're going to be not looking for, well, we will look for maybe a pullback and another retest back down to the low, or maybe even a break of the low, maybe, but we're not really looking for it right now. Okay, so we're looking for that low volume pullback and kind of chops around a bit, maybe traps some people going long, and then trade down into these 3,100 contracts here on the S&P E-mini that Slowdown pointed out to here. Okay, so anyway, that's let's see. Actually, we might get that now. Let's take a look. Okay, now this is where we want to look at our trading criteria in here. Okay, and this is where, do we see an opportunity in here? Okay, I don't really see it right now. Okay, we may see tons of sellers come in here. If you do, then that's up to you. Like the stop would have to be up here, right? Then you're looking for the move back down into probably here to conservatively take off some, but maybe you're holding it for a bigger move here. Now, in this case here, the trade management, yeah, I would be I would take some off and just reduce risk and look for the runner. I don't like personally that approach of in general of looking for a runner. Okay, but on days like today, on an outside day, you are looking for a runner. Okay, now there's all sorts of different ways to manage this as well. Okay, Scott talks about it quite a bit, Scott Pulcini. So one of the ways that you can do this is look for these pretty extreme moves into high liquidity, maybe a little bit through it, get out some, look for a pullback, get back in some. When it comes back down and breaks the low on high volume again into high liquidity, get out some. And then as it pulls back again, get back in some. Okay. Or maybe you're just, I don't know how you want to manage it, but there's a lot of different ways. Maybe you're just leveraging it to the hilt. It moves down and you, let's suppose you have multiple contracts on. You get out very, very little, like a third or less. And then you're looking for that pullback and you're adding in quite a bit more and then taking some off again, but just a little bit, and you're just adding to your position. This is something that the trade management, we can go through many examples, but the simple example would be multiple contracts, take one off here, add another one back on. Okay, and you're still looking for that continuation. Now the question is though, do we see this continuation pattern here? Now this is a lot of volume in here, okay, on the buy side here and here. Right now everyone knows or sees the liquidity down here. We know that. Okay, so we're looking for sellers though to convince us that we are ready to move back down into this liquidity down here, or back down to the swings. And I don't see it here. This does not meet the criteria. Okay, it is the criteria and the setup that gives us our probabilities. Okay, and I don't want any part of this right here. Okay? In fact, it looks more like, there's buyers. This is the low volume pullback. Again, we can look for buyers here and trade right back up into maybe 50 up here, 52.50. Okay, and if that's what you're shooting for, well, let's see, do we have criteria for that? Okay, well, we definitely have a low volume pullback below the swings here. We definitely have volume in here on the buy side too. So those are two big components. Okay, the question though, what about the order book though? Is that supporting us here? Was there high liquidity filled in here? Not really. So maybe if that is the case, then, and you're looking for a continuation on a scalp up to 50 or 52.45 at the swing and 52.50, then you would be getting in. Okay, if it's just the volume and it's not enough here on the order book, how would you do that though? Okay, would you get in a full position? Well, you don't have all the components for your criteria. So do you want to risk a full position at that point? Okay, so now you can trade micros, for example. Okay, so 10 micros equals 1 mini. Right, so maybe you take on like I don't know, 3, 5, something like that, micros, because you're not really too sure about this. It has the majority of your criteria. Now it's looking better here, right? See the order book here. All right, so now then that makes sense. Take a half position, okay, and then maybe just take it up to 46, or maybe take it up to 50 and hold it. All right, so because we don't have all the criteria in here, so why would you put on all the risk? Loving the bloodbath. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I really like in Bookmap Academy meeting last Thursday, Stephen had said that, well, I was waiting for this trade. I was looking for a long, and it didn't meet my criteria. Okay, so uh, you can see that this was really short-lived in here. You would have been stopped out already. So why even take the risk here if you don't have all of your criteria? That's something for you. You have to kind of answer yourself. And you know, that's a trade management or criteria that you're kind of skipping some. So, and do you want to do that, right? Because look at the doors open now for sellers to really hammer this down into the low here. Okay, this would be your trap volume, and this is where you're looking for those sellers to really move it here. And now, what do we have on that in that criteria? Well, we have high liquidity here on the offer. We do see some selling coming in. We know that these guys are going to be trapped. And then you'd look for the move back down into 38 to begin with, and then 36, and then lower. Okay, so anyway, that's talking more about the criteria for your setup. All right. We're looking for something where it really hits us over the head and checks all the boxes for our criteria. Okay? And that's how you can take a better trade. All right. See here. Any questions? No. Okay. Michael, this is not a trade recommendation room. I'm sorry. It looks like you got. I don't know where you got stopped out. But we're going over the order flow and then also the trade criteria. You need to have that in order to take a trade. You need to know that you have an edge first. Right. So that's the most important part. And then how you manage it is next. All right. So as you can see, like nothing really kind of met our eye in here. We just went through some different ideas, going long somewhere in here and going short maybe somewhere in here, but not enough. And look at the price action coming back, telling us here. Okay, so that's of course the hindsight part, but let's just look at the overall bigger picture in here. Okay? And we were just not interested. We didn't have something that really looked like it was ready to move. Okay, all right. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. That's nice. Anyway, guys, these are really like some very, very simple things, and then we're looking at the order flow. Okay, some very simple ideas. And just keep it really simple and clear. There's something in here if you guys have updated here to version. I'm using 7.5 beta version of Bookmap. It's build 13. There was kind of an issue with some of the volume dots, but you guys, you can now. It's been fixed. So if you want to download the latest version, latest build, I'm sorry. think I'm just going to go with the default here on the volume dots. Okay, these are delta dots, buy minus sell. Well, it still looks like it wants to break out here, but in kind of, it's just, I just don't see it up here though. I don't see that appetite by these buyers. Likely it'll happen, but I'm just not, I'm not seeing, it's not convincing to risk any money on in here. Yeah, we can show VWAP in here. We can show anchored VWAP. We have a new anchored VWAP tool, and I can demo that for you if you guys like. Okay. I want to keep it really simple though too, because you know, one of the things that we find in our education time and again is people start to put lines on a chart, and there's a bias now, a pretty strong bias. And then that keeps you from reading and understanding the order flow. It can really trip you up. So we want to avoid that, and we want to just keep things really, really simple. We can put those lines on the chart here though, and we can put all sorts of lines on the chart to give us insight here, or to try to help give us insight. I don't know, it doesn't help me, it actually distracts me. Anyway, let's do it here. Okay, so there is a VWAP tool, or this anchored VWAP. So let me show you that, and where you can get it. I believe maybe Dan, you can help out with that. Like I forget if it's still in beta testing or if it's available now, I believe. Anyway, it's here. If you just go to add-ons manager here, and then the level 1 in here, just scroll down and you should see it down in here. Okay, and that's where you can install it. Anyway, it's here. Let's add it. Now, there's some kind of some funky things in here, but let me get rid of all the lines in here, right? So that we keep it simple to begin with here. All right. So I have no lines in here right now. Okay, no VWAP lines. This one here is, well, you've got two buttons to create VWAP. Create VWAP from current time. Okay, if I click on that, there is a VWAP in here now. Okay, it is based off of exactly when I just clicked. It'll populate here just a minute. There it is. Okay, see the green line here. That's my VWAP. All right. All right, there it is here. All right, here come our sellers, guys. Okay, so let's see now. Maybe we can look for a low volume pullback to about here, and then a continuation here. Looks like we're getting ready though to move. Okay, this is our consolidation period, and now we're looking for our sellers. Okay, be careful on this time of day, but we're looking for sellers to try to move it away here. All right, so anyway, let's go back to this VWAP, and I'm actually going to delete this one, and then we're going to create one from the session start. Okay, what the funky kind of UI issue in here is you need to have at least one VWAP on here, preferably for the session. Okay, here, for example, and then I'm to right click and create an anchored VWAP. I need to have this line here. Right, so let's suppose I want to create an anchored VWAP off of this. This is where buyers came in. We're looking for buyers. That's where you want to have your VWAP. So then just go up to here. Let's just zoom in a little bit more. Okay, and we can look at yeah, probably here. Why not? That's where the swing is. This is really where the buyers came in. Maybe that's a better area. All right, and we'll select that. I'll right click here. And then I have the ability to create another VWAP from the session start, or an anchored VWAP from here. I'm going to select this one here, okay, and it will create a new one. And there it is. It's this green one. Right now, I can also come back in here and change the color to something else if I want. Let's make it yellow. Right, so there's my anchored VWAP. And the idea here on an anchored VWAP is that we're looking for the swing in here where buyers came in. So anything back to the VWAP here would be a buy. Okay, so let's see if this is a buy here. This is where like we look for the order flow to support the idea of an anchored VWAP. Okay, and I don't really see it, okay. And we can go back in here. I can select it and right click on it, and should be able to go to, okay. So at this point, then I got to go back here if I want to add the bands in here, show standard deviations, etc. Or I can put in a custom deviation, or I can put in reset points as well. Okay, so here's some standard deviations based off of this anchored VWAP from this swing down here. This is the fallacy in here that you have to be very careful with your anchored VWAPs. It's just more lines on a chart, and you can kind of justify, oh, it's hitting the second standard deviation here, I'm going to short it. Well, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. But if you are looking up here at this area as a false breakout, and it's choppy, then this looks pretty good. Okay, and there's high liquidity up in here, and you start to maybe see sellers come in and maybe more liquidity on the offer in here, then you've got something. Okay, and that's where you can align your technical indicator with the order flow in Bookmap. Okay, no questions. All right. This looks like a slowdown trade right down in here. I don't know if you grab that or not, but it's a beauty right in here with that buy volume coming in. So we have a range, a break of it, a false breakdown, and then buyers come back in, trade it back into the range and other side of the range here. Rob, I would suggest if you want to keep things simple, just look at that outside day and go with that direction on strong volume. You don't have to look at anchored VWAPs. You don't have to look at anything. That would be a very simple thing to study. Right? I mean, right now it's more convoluted during this webinar because the move is already unfolded. So now we're just getting all sorts of kind of back and forth in here. Right now, here's a potential though. Right, here's a potential, another false breakout, and then the sellers coming in. All right, so now is this it? Are we looking for our break here? not just to the swing here, but the break of it. I don't know. I'm not convinced. You know, what we're looking for on a break like that, a break of this range in here, we're not looking for buyers here. Okay, so let's see if we get a move back to here. We have not only our anchored VWAP, we also have a point of control, which just means, you know, the most traded area in here. Now, see, what we're looking for here is sellers to drive it away from this area here. Okay, so let's look for it. Right now, that would be a potential trade setup. Okay, we have high liquidity up here. Sellers starting to come in. Okay, now note this liquidity here. The imbalance here in the order book. So now we're just looking for sellers. And see how we didn't get them. Okay, we can still look for them. In fact, we can look for even like placing, if you guys are trading from Bookmap, you can use bracketed orders in here, put in your take profit and your stop loss. Okay, and then I'm going to hold down the shift key, and then I'm going to right click here. Okay, actually I'm going to right click a little bit higher. That is a sell stop here. Okay, of one transaction, or one, maybe I'll put in two. Okay, just I'll put in two here, and then we'll see. Let's see if we can capture this here, because we have some fuel here. We're just looking for some sellers now. Okay, it looks like I just got filled. Now again, this is not a trade recommendation. Okay, now we're gonna very aggressively manage this here, because this is what we have here. We have the breakdown here, and it's not much. In fact, this is not enough criteria. I just want to demo the sell stop here. Okay, because I need to see more selling to really justify going short here. But what I'm looking for now, I'm anticipating this. I don't have the criteria, and this is dangerous to do, but I have the buying here that I'm looking to see get upended by sellers. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Now, I don't have the criteria in here that I know that sellers are convinced in here. So this is not a good trade idea. Okay, but I'm kind of hoping and praying almost, in essence. I have this criteria that I have the buyers here, but I don't have the selling interest yet. Right, so that's what I need though. Right, and I'm looking for them to come in out of the blue all of a sudden down here. It's not a good idea. Right, so that should keep me away from doing this. And look at, I'm almost getting stopped out here. And I'm going to move my stop actually above that liquidity though. Okay, because there's high liquidity here on the offer. I'm going to hide it behind that high liquidity here by a couple ticks. All right, so again, I am still looking for these sellers in here to upend these buyers here. Okay, now do you see the mistake though? Can you see, like, do I have that? Do I have a convincing amount of sellers in here? No. Okay, here, this looks, see how this looks better now? Because look at the buyers up here. Look at the sellers now down here. Now that scenario is more likely to unfold. Okay, I just need to see these sellers here. Now the delta just changed in here because buyers came in again. Okay, I'm looking for, I need red dots down here, okay, for this trade criteria. Okay, and I'm looking for the breakdown. Okay, so that means all of these buyers in here, then I'm looking for them to be sellers down here. Okay, now I can take some off here if I want. Maybe I'll move it up to this range up here. Okay. Oh boy, that's not much. Let's move it a little bit lower here. Okay, and then that would be my scale out here. Okay, to take some off. Okay, now I may, if I see a lot of selling in here, I might just take this away though, because we're in a downtrend, pretty big downtrend. I need to see some pretty big selling in here. If I do and I get that, then I'll take this off and move it down lower. Okay, now our trade criteria that we got in for this criteria here when we didn't have it. We have it here. We just don't, the order book, it would be much better to see a little bit more liquidity lower in here, and the reaction to that liquidity being sellers. Okay, see how it's dark in here? So buyers can whip it right back up in here, maybe go for one more hit to the high or back to point of control before we get the drop. Okay, so again, that's the lack of criteria in here in this area. All right, let's take a look also at a measured move in here for the potential. If we're still looking for those sellers, right? But here's our move. Okay, this would be our measured move here. So maybe we move our take profit down to that. Okay, just in front of that, or at that liquidity level. Okay, because we might get a really fast move here on the sell side. Okay, and if we get that, then we'll get filled down here. Okay, starting to get our sellers. Now let's see the order flow here. What does it look like? Okay, traded into this liquidity here. Okay, so if this comes back into the range, then maybe we consider exiting. We got a lot of buyers in here. This little area here. I'm looking for them to be sellers though on the way down. Boy, it's pretty lackluster. We're just not seeing much, huh? Not convincing. There's some selling down here, but it's just not doing much. Okay, here's some exhaustion here. That's good. Some selling here. That's good. Okay, sellers, you should be able to move there. We have the order book on our side as well. We're looking for the move here. Okay, there's our order book. Okay, and we've got we got some buyers interested in it. Okay, they took them on. They're still here on the offer. All right, here's what I'm going to do, because it almost came down to our target there. I'm going to move my stop loss to break even at this point. Okay, because it's doing what we want. So it's either going to work right now, and if it doesn't, then we're going to get a lot of buyers who come in, and I don't want to take a full stop loss on that. So I'm just going to put it at break even at this point. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, some trade management here of like, you know, this is working, but if it doesn't work, then I don't want it to run against me here. Okay, because it should work here. Okay, now this is very short-term trading. But you guys get the idea here. Okay, so there, target one achieved. Okay, now again, guys, I mean, I can't get it out of my mind. I hearken back to Stephen again and again here. Did I have the criteria to justify this position? No, I did not. Okay, do I have it in here? Yeah, I do here. This looks a lot better. Well, it really, to be honest, is when we really saw the criteria, it's in here. Okay, because we have the order book on our side now. They're coming down, and we know that there's sellers in here. Okay, so we took the shot at it. Okay, now here's a pullback already to come back and retest this area here. So now a question is, now since we've managed this and taken some off, we have a small profit. Do we want to take a full profit here or stop loss? What this means is if I get taken out here at 41, I would get nothing on that second leg, but I would keep the profit from the first one, which was what? Let's see here. From 41 down to 39, so 2 points. So what that means is I can put in a 2-point stop loss here if I believe in this trade. So from 41 to 43, right? And that should be overall break even up here. Okay, +1, so I'll put it down one tick below. All right, so if I get stopped out, I get nothing on this trade except 1 tick. That's it. Okay, so it's up to you how you want to manage these things. And this again is trade management, and it's very, you know, very personal. Okay, what is your strategy? Maybe it's all in, all out. Well, you'd already be out then, you know, most likely. Okay, or you know, maybe it's all in, all out, but on a higher time frame, and maybe your stops at the top of this range up here, and you're looking for the breakdown in a bigger range. Okay, so look at this, you know, back to the liquidity here, or if it's going to come back to the mean right up here. Then I'll get stopped out, and I made nothing on the trade. All right, anyway guys, it's the concepts in here about the trade management, is this a smart place to put it? Well, it is for my risk management, but look at the swing here. You know, come up, hit the swing, turn around, and go back down, right? So maybe not a good idea. That's for you to determine, right? This trade management in here. Yeah, I'll show you the anchored VWAP again. Let me see what I wanted to cover something else in here about. Yeah. I also want to show you the Bookmap break even in here for trading, it's the break even point up here. So turn that on. Note here, it's calculated. It might be it's based on what's known in Bookmap. It's not based on your broker or exchange, right? So you can put in your commissions in here as well, which is a really nice nice tool. Right, I'm actually going to take my anchored VWAP off here or change the color at least. Yeah, let's just at least change the color, make it, there we go. All right, because my break-even indicator should be on, and oh yeah, okay, it's here. All right, so you can see my break-even indicator here, guys. See how like our calculation was right. This is where we got in. This is where we took some off. As soon as we took some off, it shot up to here. And that's where we put our stop, just in front of it, because that is our break even. Let me dim the heat map so you can see it a little bit better. Let me take the VWAP off for a moment. Sorry about that. And then we'll go through the demo again of the VWAP. All right. Is that clear? You guys might want to use this break-even tool. It just makes the calculations a lot simpler. If I want to hide my orders, I got to get out of trading mode. Well, you can see it here, the green line. Okay. As soon as I scaled out, it shot up the amount that I scaled out because it's only 2 contracts. Right, and then it's up here at 43. All right, now I also want to show here you can input your commission. Let's put in a commission here. Okay, so I'm going to put in per contract or per round turn. Let's see, we're going to put it in a commission of I don't know. Let's just say $5. And that's about right for 1 contract. Right, so now you can see I'm just barely making a commit. It's it's what, 12.5 bucks a tick. So I'm just making a little bit off of it, break even plus a little bit. So it's basically at break even. All right. Anyway, guys, I really encourage you to start using these trading tools in Bookmap. They're great. You can see how, look what we did. All of our actions in here are recorded, all of them. And this is really good for a number of reasons. For debriefing your trading activity. Why did you make these decisions? Were they rational? Does it make sense? And what happened? Like right now, maybe do I want to exit this or do I want to hold it? Look at the volume I'm going against in here, right? So they're coming right back, up into maybe point of control or maybe the other side of the range here. Okay, so do I want to hold this? Do I want to get stopped out at break even? If I see this kind of volume coming up and charging up after it, maybe I want to exit. Hey, why take the risk? That it's more likely to get taken out here. Right now, at this point, it's kind of a mute argument because there's a swing here. Maybe it's just coming up to the swing, and then maybe it'll turn around, right? And that's so I got taken out here, right? So I made 1 tick off of all of that in here. That's trading. Okay, that was a great demo, though. It was really good to go through all of this with you guys. Okay, so in an environment like when it's choppy in here, maybe you want to kind of switch up your strategies. And the overall environment is in a downtrend. The environment in here for today or for this session, though, is different. Because we are down into an area where we will look for some people to take profit and maybe some buyers to enter in here. All right, so it's an outside day. You look for the momentum down to a specific area, and then maybe you're looking for that chop. Okay, now we took a shot at it. We're looking for something to unfold. And it didn't. So we look for the next opportunity. right? And do you see it now? No, I don't. I see a lot of buy volume that just came back in here. Okay. Yeah, all of these tools are in the Bookmap Learning Center. Here you can just go up to help here, Learning Center, or you can go to bookmap.com. Click on education, and that'll take you to the Learning Center. And then here, go to getting started course here, and then the trading section in here. Open it up, and these are all the different videos. They're pretty short. How to use the trade control panel, how to set your orders, how to move them and edit them, etc. Just what we went through in here. All right, no questions? Yeah, thanks, Dan. All right, good stuff. Yeah, some of these, I mean, we covered this as well, and I think this is probably, we covered a lot of the trade management in here. Use this break-even tool, how to trade from Bookmap, how we used a sell stop by holding shift down to get into the trade here. Okay, but basically, if you left click in this window in here, then it will be a buy. It depends on where you are. So if I'm below and I left click, it's going to be a limit buy because it's below price. Okay, so we'll just cancel all those. And if it's a left click above current price, it's going to be a market buy. Okay, it'll get, was actually technically it's not a market. It is a limit at the best, a limit buy at the best offer. Okay, but basically it's a market buy. You're in, and then you would get filled rather immediately, and you'd be looking for the a market to move upward immediately. So you're paying up the spread on that. Okay, and there's a couple of key commands in here, like I had mentioned, like you saw me with the short over here. Hold down the shift key and then left click, and you can see it says stop in here. Right. Now you can also use your center mouse wheel as a button, and if you do that on this order here in this live market window here, it will cancel it. Okay, look at the stop. There's going to be a stop run in here, guys. Probably a pretty nice one. You can already see it kind of mounting in here. All the people that were selling in here are going to get stopped out up above here. Okay, they're already getting stopped out, but we're looking for a pretty good stop run here. Okay, up to probably 50. Is it convincing? Well, it's getting there. It's looking a lot better. There's a lot of buy volume in here. Look at the bars. And we were looking for sellers to really pick up in here, and look what happened. There's very little selling. Okay, look at all the buyers coming in here. Okay, so now are we going to get this is a weak top in here? Are we going to see the buyers break this top and trade up into 50? Well, let's take a look. What criteria do we have? Okay, we have, look at the order book here on our side. That's good. Okay, we have a lot of buyers coming in. That's good. Okay, sellers just took these guys on though and transacted. Okay, so we'll look for a pullback then. Okay, back up to this swing up in here. Thank you so much, Slowdown. This is really nice. Um, yeah, Slowdown is sharing some of his trade management in here as well, since we're doing it in the webinar, and that's really nice. Yeah, you guys might want to take a look and check it out. He's looking at a reversal there. He's trading the NQ and looking for a move back to VWAP on that. Okay, so anyway, I'll let you guys come over to Discord and check that out. But you know, he's got his criteria. Okay? He's got his checklist. I'll briefly show it here if you don't mind. Slow down. But it's so important. You got to have your criteria. Okay. Not only does he have his criteria in his checklist, here's his checklist, and he's got an image here. Right. What he's looking for in this reversal pattern. Okay. So and did it unfold? Well, he's got it right in front of him. So it better look like this in order for him to take the trade. That's why he has it, right? He wants it to look like that, so he'll take the trade opportunity. All right, so yeah, this all this buying in here, we're back up to the top of the range in here, and then we're kind of eyeballing 50 here. See if we can get that quick move up into 50, and it should be pretty quick, to be honest. All right. So anyway, the criteria, I want to show it also in the Learning Center too. So go to, like I said, bookmap.com, education, and then under strategies and setups course here, click on that. And then here's our reversal pattern. This is a new video, and it's really short, but just to go through what we're talking about for a inverse head and shoulders reversal pattern here. Okay, sellers, a little cluster of buying, but we're still not convinced yet. But the slope is starting to change. Now, this is high liquidity on the bid, and they trade right into high liquidity, and then makes the head down here, and then you're looking for a lot more buying to come in at that point. Okay, and that's when you read the shift. Okay, not just in the volume, but also the order flow. From all of this in here, high liquidity on the bid getting filled, and also buyers trading up into liquidity up in here, previous swing. Now we're looking for a low volume pullback on the sell side into high liquidity down here. Now we're looking for another big green dot in here. There it is. That's our entry in here, but only to trade it up to the top of the range in here. We're not yet looking for that total reversal to unfold, and we're just reducing some risk. Okay, so this is one way to look at it, to reduce that risk in here. Now, if you get that continuation pattern in here, you see more buyers starting to come in, well, maybe you add more risk in here at that point and take some off up at this swing or this high liquidity up in here. Okay, and then this could turn into a bigger trade. You know, this is the measured move that you get on the reversal, but you can turn this into a you know, a possible continuation here, right? And that's where this would be your pullback, low volume pullback. Now basically what you do is you'll come over and look at your flag pattern in here, and look at your continuation pattern here. Okay, because this would be your head and shoulders consolidation period, and here's your impulse move, pullback, impulse move, right? So again, you can see that who cares about the names of these patterns? Have to understand the order flow behind them. Okay, because you can turn something that was you know, maybe a small mover into a big winner. All right, by understanding that that order flow. And in fact, you can see a head and shoulders pattern in here. Now, shoulder, head, shoulder. Okay. I didn't see it, or we weren't trading it, and we don't have all that criteria, to be honest, for this to unfold. We have some of it. But yeah, not enough for me. All right, block whiz, you want to look at a few different things. Okay, I'm sorry, I did say I would go over that VWAP again, anchored VWAP. Sure. Let's show it. Okay, anchored VWAP here. I don't have any VWAP lines on here, so I need to create one first. From that line, now I can create my anchored VWAPs. All right, so that's how it works. So here's my anchored or my session VWAP. Now let's create a couple anchors. Right, so yeah, let's see here. Where do we want to create an anchor? Right. Well, we had one down here, right? Let's do it again. In fact, I can go on this leg instead of this one. Okay, and then I right-click up here on it, create an anchored VWAP there. Okay, it's generating it. There it is, green line, yeah, and then we can come in here and then also, well, we have to come back to our VWAP. We can change our color. Let's make it this blue, and then let's put a couple bands on it as well. Okay, or you want to put in your custom band here. We can put in 3, whatever it is, a half, 3, I don't know, whatever you want. It's based on your studies. Okay. Okay, so block whiz, I hope that answers your question on that. Okay, Rob, so that helped on the standard deviations and understanding maybe a bell-shaped curve on profiles, etc. Sure. However, Rob, I really, the simplest is the easiest, and yeah, we'll go over the footprint now for you as well. But block whiz, the again, I as simple as I can get. This is it here, outside day. Now, one of the things on an outside day, this is for Alan as well, to really understand is, and it can be highly profitable, is you're probably going to get an overnight move. All right, so look for, like yesterday, look at the move here. It was an outside day and it closed below. Okay, this is the key here. It closed below, and this is what a lot of people look at, that it closed below the previous session. Okay, now you want it to close below on volume though too. Okay, so you're looking for pretty big volume. You're looking for the close below it. Now, we don't have that big of a volume event in here for that day. At least I don't from my Rhythmic. Okay, it is an outside day. It went above here. It totally rejected above here. It came back down and then closed below the previous session. That's showing weakness. Okay, this is, again, this is candlestick analysis, and you know, I think I've come to the point where I start to really loathe it. I really dislike it. I'm starting to, because we go away remembering, oh, if it closes below the previous period, no, it's about the order flow within here that matters. Understand that it rejected up here. It did not accept on all-time highs here. It rejected. What did it do and where did it close for the period? It closed below the previous period. Okay, so those are the factors in here. Now, what you'd also want to see is it closing below on extreme volume. Okay, that would be really helpful and really insightful, that no one wants it up here. In fact, they want to trade it back down into the range, or, you know, maybe even start a new trend. Okay, so now if that is the case, your outside day, you can see that, when that period ended in here, here on the hour, we can see it better on the hourly. Look at the huge gap. Okay, and that's where, like, wow, this was an outside day, it closed on volume. This is where you're looking for the overnight session, and you got to stay up late. Okay, because you're looking for this to really start to move. And if you're not in it during the overnight session, you're gonna miss a lot of it. A lot of the times what you'll see on these outside days is it opens up down here. This happens in stocks all the time. Okay, at least I've seen it a lot in stocks. Okay, you open up down here, and what kind of day do you get on a huge down day? You get nothing, because there's no opportunities. It's already moved, and all you do is get chop, and maybe you even get a pullback and half a gap fill or something like that. Great. So you just started considered trading from the Bookmap chart, Pete. That's great. Yeah, I mean, I think you guys will see a lot of advantages, being able to move the orders around like this. And then what's really nice though too is then we can use it in replay mode, and you can load these orders in replay mode as well. And look, what you did. How did you play it? Another thing to do is just use, and we talked about this yesterday, how Carmine Rosado as well, how he's using this replay mode in Bookmap at the end of the day, how to go through your trading. Okay, this is key because you already have this insight from the day. You have all sorts of knowledge about what, there's FOM, or there's non-farm on Friday. What does the market think about some of the news that has come out? What environment are we in? You have all this other information that if you just go back to a random replay mode day, because you can replay any day you want as long as you recorded it, right? The problem is you don't have all this other information. And this is one of the big issues about back testing. Okay, you don't have all that other additional information. It's more pure, like, quantitative and just numbers. So you want to be able to put all of that together into your trading plan, and basically you're forward testing it in essence. Okay, you're just going over it again and again in replay mode. So, and then trade from it. Okay, did you see the opportunity? Okay, if you don't, go back and rewind and look for it again. All right, let's see here. I got to get caught up on the questions. Yeah, fear forces you to look in the mirror. Well, I just really enjoy how, I mean, I see myself like just doing some of the stupidest things. And you just look at it and you go, like, what was I thinking? Like, why did I do that? Why did I move my stop? And that's like, it does force you to look in the mirror there at that point, because it's all recorded in here. Here I actually, I just set it at 20 and 10 here, just to throw some orders on here, and then I move them around. And we had 2 orders on as well. So you can see, like, this is where I got in. Here's my stops. Here's my take profits. I moved one of them up here, and then decided to move it down a little bit more because it's likely to, we're likely to get that move. And then my other one, I kept down here, which was not even low of day. I probably should have moved that down lower. Okay, but anyway, yeah. So once I got taken out here, then I also started, even before my decision here was, and I just want to go through the decision-making process. Okay, so we covered it, and again, this was not a good. There was not a lot of criteria for this trade idea. It was better over in here. We covered that. But why did I move my stop then here? Because I'm afraid of getting taken out? No. It's because, like, well, there's high liquidity here. There's a little bit of a swing here. Maybe I should consider it taking just a little more risk and putting it up above here. I wouldn't have gotten taken out anyway, but that's a moot point. The point is I have the liquidity here in front of me. So let it trade into that, and I'll be behind it. Okay. And then the decision was like, okay, it's starting to trend down into this liquidity here. And now these are really small moves, but we're just replaying it here basically. Now it should work. If it doesn't, especially in here, if it doesn't, I am out. I should get out because this will just rip against me. And why do I want to be hanging in here if it's not working out? Okay, so I was kind of late to the game for that idea. We made that decision here when we saw this buying, and we're like, wait a minute, we're not looking for buying here, we're looking for selling. Okay, so I'm going to move my stop down to break even overall. Yeah, because I hadn't gotten out, so this was break even at that point. The green line shows it, so I'll get out there, but then moments later, our first take profit was hit. Okay, now I have some wiggle room in here, right? And then it's a decision on how you want to manage it. Do you want to stay in here? And we would have gotten stopped out here at break even, so we would have made a little bit of money on leg one, and that's it. Okay? Or do we believe in this move and we're looking for the bigger move lower? Okay? If so, well, then give it a lot more wiggle room. Okay? And you can see I was still at break even overall on the position. And then we got taken out. Okay? And we didn't lose any. Okay? We're basically break even plus a tick. That covers our commissions. Right? So our trade didn't work out. And that was that. We look for the next opportunity. Right? But all that decision-making process is here in the... Sorry, guys. Let me take the anchored VWAP off for a minute. It's all in here in the way I move my orders around, and that's pretty insightful. Right? You can't escape it, you'll see yourself like, why did I do that? Well, learn from it, and then don't do it again. And the beauty is you can just use this in replay mode again and again. All right. Any questions? I haven't been over to YouTube here for a bit, so let me double check YouTube. How are we doing? Oh, sorry, looking at the notes. It's a little late, Dylan. We're just about to end here. So, anyway, let's take a look here, and let's kind of end on where we think price is going here. And any questions that you guys have? You see here. Okay, so we started off by covering the outside day, and then looking for a mover, and then we started to cover, like, well, are we still looking for that mover? We saw a lot of buyers starting to come back in here, and this was anticipated. We had a level of interest, and we noted the buyers. We also note very, very high liquidity down here at this 32 area here, 3,000, almost 3,100 contracts. Right, so I think we'll probably get there, but I don't see it now. Right? What we're looking for is a kind of a roll over here, the move to the downside here. Some buyers come back in, and then we just kind of roll back over and hit that high liquidity down here. Okay, so something like that. And the first steps for that kind of criteria would be, well, you look for some sort of reversal pattern up in here. Okay, we didn't even get back to 50 here, at least not yet. Okay, just make sure that you've gone through your checklist, your criteria of market structure, liquidity, and volume, and then look for that to justify your position or your setup with your criteria, and then it's up to trade management. All right, guys. I think we covered everything. Thanks everybody for a good session, good feedback in here, and yeah, put your images in, guys. Like either here in the All Markets room or in the Bookmap Academy to get feedback on some of these things. You know what we'll probably do, I think in the near future, is we'll do something just like Carmine Rosado did, but we'll go through it step by step and use that replay mode. Maybe a special event, and maybe with one of the developers, etc. So we can really get good at our setups, what exactly we're looking for, and then trading it again and again and again. Zoom out and trade it, zoom in and trade it, get a feel for it. We should be doing this every single day, end of the day, right? Because we have that context like we mentioned, and that's golden. You cannot get that from back testing, so that's why forward testing is so much better. Yeah, Rob, and Rob, the simple strategy here is just wait for your outside day, okay, and play it. You can maybe play it in replay mode on days where there's a consolidation and a breakout. Okay, so it's the same concept that you're looking for an outside day. We've gone over it for forever, but we haven't made that association. Like all of this in here, think about it now. All of this consolidation in here, actually there is pretty good justification here for a breakout to the upside. There truly is. All right, so what about a measured move? All right, so let's take a look. Okay. How about up here? Is there justification for it? Yeah. We'll leave it off at this. We'll look for a move back up to about 60. How about that? Okay, so somewhere around in there. I mean, well, here, the measured move, let's go with the measured move exactly. Then we say 62. Okay, maybe between 60 and 62, and let's take a look for it. Now, for this to be an outside day, Rob, what are we looking for? It's not an outside day, but the concept. What are we looking for? We're looking for it to move away. Yeah, outside the previous candle, true, but you're looking for volume, right? You're looking for it to move away from this area. There has to be a lot of traders to move it away. Okay, so we're looking for a big volume dot in here, and we're looking for it to carry it on up in an impulse move to up to like our 60 level here, 62, something like that. Okay, now look at previous impulse moves in here, just like we were looking at ATR on the daily for those outside days. Okay, well, what kind of move are we looking for? Right, well, here's a move here, here's a move here, here's a move here. All right, so maybe we can look for something similar. Take that and we'd move it over here. Kind of matches up. Some of these moves are matching up. Yeah, they all kind of match up, and they all dictate for about 61 liquidity up here. Okay, so now we're just looking for our criteria for that setup. That would be pulling of liquidity here on the offer, which they are not. Okay, adding on the bid, which we do see some of that in here, and then we need a lot of buyers in here. Okay, even better is to note the trap traders in this consolidation period. Maybe some of these guys here are trapped, and maybe more are being trapped here. And then we look for our big buyers up in this area here around 50. And then that's what we're looking for it to carry away from this area here and move it back on up. All right. So anyway, it's just one trade idea, but if you get that criteria, then you can start to look for it to unfold, and you have your justification. All right, guys, thanks for coming, everybody, and we will see you. I guess the next time we'll see each other is the Bookmap Academy meeting on Thursday afternoon at market close, else Friday. Tomorrow, Jay Trader. I would highly recommend going and talking to him, ask him questions about outside days and how he trades. Okay, because that's all he trades basically. He will trade it back into the where it broke out from for sure. But he's only looking for a big move, and that's why he's looking at all these small caps, because he knows it's doing it, and he knows it's high probability. Okay, we're just looking for it in futures, and ask him about it. I'll ask Scott about them as well. He's trading futures, as you guys know, on Thursdays. All right, guys, thanks for coming, everybody, and we'll catch up with you at the Bookmap Academy meeting. Okay, yeah, take care. Thanks.